How can you monitor and troubleshoot Snowpipe errors? As a data engineer, you are going to be required to monitor and troubleshoot Snowpipe errors. The first step for us is to check the status of the pipe to see if it is running or not. This can be accomplished by using the pipe status command. For step 2, we need to go to the copy history view. This is because metadata on Snowpipe data load is stored in copy history. If there are any errors in the load, you will see the error message and the line at which the error occurred in this view. For step 3, we will use validate pipe load. The difference between data seen in copy history and validate pipe load is that copy history shows only the first error that has occurred, whereas validate pipe load shows all the errors that occurred when loading the file. This can provide all the necessary information we need to fix all the errors in the file. For step 4, fixing the issues causing the load failure is needed. Without fixing the data issues, the pipe will not be able to process the file that have data issues. Common data issues include data type mismatch, wrong number of columns, etc. Finally, after you have fixed all the issues, you can restart the pipe if you paused it during troubleshooting and observe to see if all the new files that are coming through are getting processed. Let us now jump into a demo where we will process files with Snowpipe, and of all the files we are processing, one of the files we process will error out, and we will go through the troubleshooting steps and fix it. Before I begin, let me tell you a few things you need to know. I have created a file format called CSV file format. I've created a stage called CSV folder, and the path from which we consume the files in AWS Cloud Storage is listed here as S3 Learn to Cloud Data Files CSV. There are currently no files in the path. However, I will upload the files shortly. As I go down, here you will see the employees table. Let me go ahead and create it. Next step is to create the pipe which will consume the files. The pipe has been created. Let me do show pipe to verify its existence. Out here there is a notification channel. I need to use this notification channel and configure the same in S3. My bucket is Learn to Cloud Data Files. I'm going to go to Properties and I'm going to look for event notifications, create event notifications, Snowpipe event notifications. Okay, so the event name is Snowpipe event notification. I'm going to do all object create event so that it is simple, and I'm going to use an SQSQ, and I'm going to use the SQS ARN that I got here from the notification channel column. So let me go ahead and put that. So we have configured notification channels for Learn to Cloud data files. As soon as a file shows up here, what we would expect is that Snowpipe would get intimated and it would consume data. The CSV folder is the folder in which we need to upload files. There are no files at this time, but we will be uploading them shortly. Let's go back to Snowflake and let us check the status of the pipe. It is showing status of running, which is what we want. Before I go and upload the files, let me go ahead and run the copy history and see what it shows. As expected, there is no data because we have not run the Snowpipe yet. We have not uploaded any new files. Let me go ahead and upload them. These are the 3 files that I plan to upload. Let me go ahead and upload them. They have successfully uploaded. I'm now going to come here and check the pipe status. It is still in running state. The 3 files have been uploaded, and let me go ahead and run the copy history to see if the files have been processed. It might take a few minutes for the processing to happen, so let's just wait. As you can see, the files have been processed, and the first 2 files were successfully loaded without any issues. However, the third file, employee 3 CSV, failed because of an error message. Let's try and understand what the error message is. When looking at the error message, we can see that it is a data issue in the first column. So if you look at this, it says 104X is not recognized. And if you come here, it talks about employee ID. So employee ID is the column which is problematic. As you can see, employee ID here. And it says numeric value 104x is not recognized. So this is a data conversion error. So the file has 104x. So this is alphanumeric, whereas the data type is integer. So what we need to do is we need to fix the file and try to reload the file again. As I move to the right, let me see if there is any other information. As you can see here, the error count is showing as 2, which means that there is more than one error in this file. The copy history does not show more than one error message. For information on all errors, what we need to do is that we need to go to the validate pipe load. Before I go to the validate pipe load, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pause the pipe execution temporarily. I'm going to check the status. It is showing as paused. Let me check what the validate pipe load shows. When we come to validate pipe load, we are able to see the two error messages that occur in the file, and we need to fix both of them before we can reload the employee 3 file. 104x is not recognized. This is the same error that we saw in copy history, and this one 105c, which was not shown in copy history, we are able to identify with the validate pipe load. I will now fix the errors in the file and upload the fixed file to S3. I will pause the video as I fix the file. I have fixed the file. Now it is time to go to S3 and upload the good file. The file upload is complete. Now it's time to go back to Snowflake. Now you do remember that I turned the status to paused, and in order for the pipe to consume the file, I need to change that. Let me go ahead and do that. As you remember, I had paused the pipe. So in order for any further processing of files, the pipe has to be turned on. Let me go ahead and turn the pipe on. The pipe is now on. Let me check the status. It shows execution state as running. An important thing to remember is that once a file is processed by Snowpipe, that file will not be reprocessed by Snowpipe again. It will, however, process new files that come into the directory and load them into the target table, which in our case is the employee. So the employee 3 CSV will not be reprocessed by Snowpipe, even though we fixed the file and re-uploaded it. So what we are going to have to do is that we are going to have to manually load the file by using the copy command, which is what we are going to do. So this piece is very important to remember, that an errored out Snowpipe file, even after fixing and re-uploading, will not be reprocessed by Snowpipe. We will have to run the copy command explicitly and upload the file. So this file has now been loaded, and as you can see, this load has no errors, which means that the file now is good and the table employee has all the data it needs. So this is how we would go about troubleshooting errors in Snowpipe load and bring everything back to normal. With that, we conclude this question. If you have the time, please join me in the next question.